Hello children, this is Creative Writing Class Week 2. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you also have my assignments from last week ready. This week we'll be doing another interesting topic. But before we go ahead, let us have a starter activity. Now you see this car on the screen. I need you to describe this car in your own words. You can see this is a really lovely car, so this should be a fun thing to do. I can tell you're wishing you had something like this or better, right? Now if you need more time to work on this activity and this recording is maybe a bit too fast for you, you can pause it or rewind. Okay? Our topic for today is using appropriate words and vocabulary. Using appropriate words and vocabulary. Now what do we hope to learn from this lesson? When all this is done, what are the things we hope we would have achieved? First, at the end of this lesson, we should be able to define adjectives, we should be able to define adverbs, we should be able to define connectives, we should be able to define adjectives, adverbs, and connectives. Now we should be able to identify them, and then we should be able to use them. So three things we should be able to do: define adjectives, adverbs, and connectives, identify them, and then use them appropriately. When writing, you see, it is important to use words in their appropriate places. It is important to put them in the right places they belong. Now, doing this makes your work more beautiful and much more interesting. Now, the words that we listed before, adverbs, adjectives, connectives, these classes of words, they are the ones you need to really watch out for. Now, when you use these words in the wrong positions, or any other class of words for that matter, when you use them in the wrong positions, they actually turn out something like this, like someone wearing mismatched clothes or shoes. I'm sure you've seen some people on the street looking like this, and you're wondering, oh my goodness, is this person in his or her right senses? Now that's what it looks like really when you write and you use the words where they're not supposed to be. It looks like you really weren't thinking about what you were writing, or you probably didn't know what you were saying. So I'm sure you don't want your reader to think so. Now how do we use adjectives? Well, first of all, what are adjectives in the first place? Adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. Adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. Nouns and pronouns. Now, they help you paint a clearer picture of the thing you're talking about. A clearer picture. They help you describe better what you're talking about. They can tell the reader the color of the thing, the size of the thing, the number, the nature of the thing, or the source of that thing. By source, I mean if that thing is from Japan, or if that thing is like, say, from Nigeria, or if that thing is from the UK. That's what I mean by source. By nature, I mean by saying if that thing is beautiful or lovely or smooth or, like that. Now what are the examples we have? The first example here is my father owns the car. My father owns the car. The noun here is car. Now we are going to describe the noun car using several adjectives. The second sentence says my father owns the blue car. You see, we've added the word blue, and it has added more meaning to the word car. So my father doesn't just own a car, he owns the blue car. Now the next example adds one more word to it. My father owns the big blue car. So the word big adds even more meaning to the word car, because it says what kind of car, the size of the car my father owns. It's not a small one, it's a big blue car. Now my father owns the two big blue cars. Now we've added to it to tell the reader how many cars, how many big blue cars my father owns. Now the last example is my father owns the 2 big blue Mercedes cars. The 2 big blue Mercedes cars. So we've added the word Mercedes to say what kind of cars we're talking about. These words that we have used, all these words, the 2 big blue Mercedes, they are adjectives. Now this is the activity you will do. With your own adjectives, you're going to describe the word table. You will describe the word table using 5 adjectives you know. Remember, you can make the adjectives of size, adjectives of color, adjectives of nature, or source, or number. Do not use the same type all round, okay? Now, what are adverbs and how do you use adverbs? Adverbs are meant to help you describe actions. They're meant to help you add color to the actions you're talking about, okay? It means adding more effect to the actions. For example, your adverbs help you tell the reader when an action took place or is taking place. It can tell the reader how. It can tell the reader where. It can tell the reader when. It can even tell the reader how often that action takes place or used to take place. Now these are the examples we have. My little brother sang. What is our verb in this sentence? Our verb is sang. My little brother sang. Now, in the next example, we add an adverb to it. My little brother sang beautifully. Beautifully is an adverb that qualifies the verb sang. You see, it adds more meaning to sang by telling us how my little brother sang. This is what we call an adverb of manner. An adverb of manner. The next example is my little brother sang yesterday. Look at this word I underline here, yesterday. It is adverb of time because it tells us when my little brother sang. It describes the verb by telling us when the verb happened. Now, the next example is my little brother sang outside. Outside is underlined and it is the adverb of place. It is telling us where my little brother sang. Now the last example is often. It tells us how frequently my little brother sang. This is what we call an adverb of frequency. It tells us how often. Now this is the activity you will do for this section. You're going to use 4 types of adverbs. Remember the 4 types, okay, we mentioned before. Let's go over that. Adverb of manner, adverb of time, adverb of place, and adverb of frequency. Use these 4 types to modify the verb jump. Now, ensure you don't use the same words I gave you, okay? There are several other words in English that can do the same job of these words I just gave you, okay? Now, we'll move on to using connectives. Now you might want to ask, what are connectives? Like the name sounds, okay, connectives are used to connect. They are used to link ideas. They are used to link sentences. They are used to link words. They are used to link paragraphs. Now, when they link words together, okay, that means when they appear in sentences, we call them conjunctions. We call them what? Conjunctions. Conjunctions. This is a word I am sure you're familiar with, okay? Conjunctions are used inside a sentence. For example, and. Can you see the 2 parts of this sentence? I opened the window. A bird flew in. There are 2 parts of the sentence. We join them together using and. So this is a conjunction. They closed the curtains as it was getting late. Can you see the 2 parts of the sentence? They closed the curtains. It was getting late. We join both of them together, or we connect both of them together using the word as. Now, you can see the train here. Okay, the train in the background. That is why we have the train there, showing you what exactly connectives do. They connect words by bringing them together. You see, in this train, these are different compartments of the train. These different compartments are joined together at this point, you see. These are the points you normally would have a connective in the sentence or a paragraph or in between the sentences. When connectives join together sentences, when they work between sentences, they are called connectives. Sentence connectives, rather. You call them sentence connectives. Remember, the first one we talked about was conjunctions, and then now we're talking about sentence connectives. We have however, we have consequently, however, and consequently. Let's look at the examples. Linda enjoyed the movie. However, Sam did not. You can see these are two separate sentences. You can see the full stop, meaning this is one sentence and then this is another sentence. We join both of them together to have Linda enjoyed the movie, full stop. However, Sam did not. So we're showing the relationship between this part and this part. The alarm clock had broken. That is one sentence. Consequently, Harriet did not get up in time to have breakfast. This is another sentence. We're using consequently to show the relationship between these two sentences, to show that Harriet not getting up to have breakfast is because the alarm clock had broken. That is why we have consequently here, to show the relationship between both of them. Okay? Now, when sentence connectives are used to link paragraphs, they are called paragraph linkers. They are called what? Paragraph linkers. We have several examples here. Let's look at them together. Firstly, secondly, next, after that, later, in addition, furthermore, moreover, however, in spite of this, on the other hand, nevertheless, as a result, consequently, in conclusion, to sum up, finally, lastly, and so many others. Now this is the last activity you will do for this class. You will write 5 sentences, use any of the paragraph linkers we just mentioned, use them in the 5 sentences. Now the second part of the activity requires you to write 3 paragraphs beginning with any of the sentences you wrote before. Let me go over that again. You write 5 sentences with any of the paragraph linkers we mentioned. Now you write 3 paragraphs, okay, with any of the 3 sentences you've written already. Now I'm sure that is clear. Now I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Have a great week and see you next week with my assignment. Thank you.